everything. Weirdo.
What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the pregame show. My goodness, I'm telling you guys, been waiting for this one for 48 hours. 48 hours. I have not slept. I have not eaten.
That explains your off-putting disposition.
It's been very off-putting.
And that call from your wife I got, she was really concerned.
You got a call from his wife?
He's not sleeping. He's not eating.
Too, really? Wow.
Is
Call
okay?
everybody here.
Crazy.
Very crazy. Shouts to Sheila. Man, guys, Nuggets, Timberwolves. Sometimes a season comes down to a single game. Maybe it doesn't, but we all hype it as if it does. It sure feels like it. Maybe an MVP comes down to a single game. We'll talk about that as well. We got all kinds. No shortage of storylines. We're also going to talk about George Karl, my co-host, my podcast co-host, who is now a Hall of Famer. So now,
big time.
It's pretty cool. We're going to talk about that.
Hall of Famer on the feed.
We do have a Hall of Famer on the feed.
It's not that impressive. My co-host is a co-host with a Hall of Famer.
Thank you. Hey, see what I mean? 6 degrees of Hall of Fame. Here's 3 degrees
and also,
away.
just quickly, I once sold a movie ticket to Kevin Bacon.
Oh, shit.
You're now 2 degrees of separation.
Wow, holy cow.
That's right. Everybody in the chat, you are 2 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon.
It's impressive. Very impressive. Dressed in all black, I got Brendan Vogt. Don't like that.
One of these is green.
What is?
The shirt.
Adam,
I'm a super color noticer. Is that green?
It is.
We need to get it wet.
Green. It's not green.
All right.
That's not green. You're wrong.
If he says so,
He says so.
I'm
I
here in
noticed
my
colors.
all black. I'm ready for the big game.
In all black. Over here wearing green, I have D-Line Co.
Oh, this is black.
Nice.
Let's go, guys. Hey, I'm ready to watch the Denver Nuggets.
Man.
April Fools, I don't care. April Fools again, I do care.
So dumb. April Fool's the worst. This is the worst day of the year. How did this game come on April Fool's? God damn it. It's a bad sign. And then over here, of course, you know him as Superstar.
The Joker on April Fool's, dude. Think about that.
Hey,
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
It's time for me.
We're actually beyond this point. We're actually going to Superstar Dev.
Look, I'm very, very excited for tonight. Like, vibes are, like, through the roof right now. We have people already here ready for the game.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night at the bar. You already know I'm with my boys. Woo. This is going to be a good one.
Just so you know, Dev actually brought a friend. He's not talking about
yeah, definitely not talking about you guys. Nobody brags about those type of things.
It did feel good for 1 second before I remembered that. That's what he was talking about. Nuggets Timberwolves. We all know this. The Nuggets have a 3-game lead over the Timberwolves, but they do not own tiebreaker. Tonight could effectively push the Nuggets into the playoffs. It could effectively push them to be within a half game of hitting their over with 4 left. It could open up a lot of things. We're going to talk about that when we raise the stakes in segment 2. But first, what did Michael Malone seem to think about the stakes?
Well, let's go game notes. One thing we talked about in that roundtable today, Adam, was just how important JaMychal Green is to this team. And he is active tonight, as Malone said. I think he's been foaming at the mouth to play tonight. So J-Mike is in.
Oh, we need foaming at the mouth J-Mike tonight, man. I'm not. You know what? Like, if I asked you who's going to bring the intensity tonight, honestly, like, the first couple guys I would think about are Timberwolves. Like, I know Towns is going to bring it. I know Pat Beverly's going to bring it. J-Mike might be the next one. I know J-Mike's going to bring it tonight.
And the bench, which had evolved into a strength for this team, had not looked the same without him, or at least without a second big. So We'll see how they look tonight. Remember, this is a new-look bench from the last time they played Minnesota, so potential X factor right there. Although, as Malone pointed out, quote, let's be honest, the last 2 times we played this team, they've out-physicaled us, outworked us, and have played with a lot more urgency than we have. Hopefully tonight, it's a chance for us to even up the series. We talked about that with Dane.
That's a partial truth. That happened in one of the games, and then one of the other games, Anthony Edwards hit more threes than have ever been hit by a Minnesota.
Yeah, that's part of it, man. But I'm
that's not how physical.
Well, I'm with Michael Malone on this one, though. There is a level of just like, this guy's going like, hey, man, no, hell or high water, we are not going to allow that to happen.
Or just get into him, right? As the basketball folk like to say, make him feel you, and they obviously did not. He talked about that with Ant as well, Eric, something they need to do tonight. He did point out, no disrespect to Oklahoma City, Charlotte, and Indiana, we have won 3 in a row, but we have not played good basketball.
He was right about that.
We all agree about that as well. So
better than losing.
Better than losing, but yeah, less than inspiring. So we'll see what they have tonight. Excuse me. Wow. Use promo code DNVR, 25% off at Lightshade. And then finally, he was asked about Jokic and Towns taking this matchup personally. He didn't exactly co-sign that. He did say it's always a great matchup. Both guys really go at it physically. and he thinks they're both ready to go tonight.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that's obviously the marquee matchup, the thing that we're going to be having our eyes on. But there's marquee matchups all over the place. There really are.
True.
Even Malik Beasley, I know, is a game-time decision. He's missed the last couple of games. And it was mentioned by Chris Finch in the pregame that, hey, I know how big this game is to him. Like, it's kind of saying, like, coming to Denver, he always sort of circles that one. So that's a marquee matchup. Like, you go to the second round, we're talking about Bones Highland, this run he's been on. Bones and Beasley could actually be the battle in that second unit, and like
The
what
Bones Beasley
the
battle?
Bones Beasley battle, man. Like it'd be a big one. You missed the biggest note though, the biggest one. Austin Rivers' tech, which the Nuggets lobbied to get rescinded. The absolute BS from Tony Brothers. He says Tim Conley wrote they had these conversations, but it does not appear.
Success.
It does not appear that the NBA is going to go back, which is lame. Even Kevin Durant took to Twitter to say that one was embarrassing.
Do you think? I mean, look, the refs union is so strong. They cannot be embarrassed. Cannot be declared wrong at any point in time. I don't know.
It's so true. Like, why do we? Yeah, you were
Whatever.
never going to get that one. Although I will say this: if ever there was one that they could just like,
You'd think.
because here's the thing: there's money involved with a tech.
Sure.
So if ever there was one that was like, you know what, still a tech, but it's only a flagrant one, no penalty, no money exchange.
And Austin's on a minimum.
Yeah, exactly. Like, kind of matters a little bit
Yeah.
for sure. So, are you surprised at all, Dev?
No, I'm not surprised. I think that this was like a pegging Austin Rivers down to earth because he has this like big man complex where he's
Really?
like, I feel like he thinks he's a MVP in this league.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I
He
think
does
that
have
they
a
were
little
just
of
like
that.
wanting to just like, hey, calm down, just calm down a little bit.
Wait, you
You're
talking
doing a
about
little too
Tony
much.
Brothers?
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is ironic that it was Tony Brothers.
it
You're
was-
like,
it
hey,
was
you,
Tony
you're not
Brothers.
as
Battle
big
of
as you
pride.
think you are. You're not as popular.
Tony Brothers does think of himself as an MVP in this
He
league.
definitely
Yeah,
is.
well,
like-
even if you look at how it was put together, Tony Brothers was the only one that even seen the video.
Of course.
And he didn't even care. So you know they weren't going to change it for Tony Brothers. He has something on this league. It is blackmail at this point.
It might be. There might be
You
something
know, he
to it.
saved MPJ's screenshot
Who are
of
the
Adam Silver's phone number. He's
Yeah.
going to post it again.
Who are the officials? Do we even know?
No, I don't
sleuth
know.
work there. All right. Well,
check
That's
that
the best
stuff.
part is that you're not supposed to know.
yeah, no, but you know
But
what's funny?
I'm
You
just
just
saying,
had
like-
Tony Brothers, and you
Yeah.
just had our guy. I already forgot his name. Who's our guy?
Bill
Oh,
Kennedy.
Bill-
Billy Kennedy. We
Bill
already had
Kennedy.
Billy Kennedy, so it's not the good one. It's not the bad one. It's probably just some random.
It's just a
Hopefully not
NBA ref.
Yeah, it's
right?
just an NBA ref. All right, let's get to the stakes of this game. Game. True or false? I'll start with you, Eric.
True. Oh, sorry.
If the Nuggets lose this game, they're going to miss the 6th seed.
False.
Thanks for the analysis. Wow, that was great. Dev, we
No,
now
I mean,
throw it
they've
through.
got enough of a cushion. Like
They have a 2-game cushion. I'm going to tell you, Minnesota has a cupcake from here on out. Like, they play Houston, definitely going to try to lose. Washington going to lose. San Antonio, Chicago's interesting. Could they lose?
Chicago probably isn't out for them.
Chicago just lost 9 of their last 10.
But they just won last night in spectacular fashion against the
That
Clippers.
is 1 in a row. Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
It's in Minnesota, which is a really long way away from Chicago. No, I'm just kidding. So they might lose one more, is my point, but they might not. Like, Minnesota's they've been taking care of their business. They have not been losing games. The games they've lost have been against teams that you thought, better than Chicago and San Antonio. Dev, if the Nuggets lose this one, can they still get into the playoffs, or like what? Will you feel good about them making the playoffs?
The Nuggets making
In
it
the
as-
6th seed, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Man, stakes are really low for this game.
Yeah, I really I do think that it matters like in every single way, but I feel like the Nuggets have done their work early, that they built a big enough cushion where now that it'll just be like right now you have to take everything seriously. You can't lose any more games, and there's not many more games for them to fall back on. So I really
Man, I
think that
don't
they
know.
would just like take care of business, and their schedule's not really tough, to end out the season. So I really think that it is a high stake game, but not in regards to losing that seed. I think that they're kind of etched in.
Certainly high stakes, and I would certainly prefer that they just take care of it tonight. But I agree with them. There is enough of a cushion. You can lose this game and say, take a deep breath, regroup, just finish the season strong. You still control your own destiny. It's a precarious position. It is much better to just drill the final coffin in here, or nail into the coffin here. But I'm with them. You do have time to correct the ship if you lose.
55-45. If they lose this game, the Nuggets' chance at the 6th seed are 55-45. Maybe just 50-50. Right. And here's why. Did you guys see LeBron James's hilarious April Fool's joke today?
It's just a prankster from
He's such a prankster. He's a prankster.
That jokester from
that jokester. He's like, somehow he's like, he really quickly turned into Paul Millsap. You know, like on social media.
I just wish he would at least do magic.
Exactly. He's going to start doing magic. I can't wait. He's going to be doing magic. Yeah, I got a coin.
He's like, when he has like his scoring title, he's like, where'd it go?
But look, the Anthony Davis, LeBron James allegedly playing tonight, and then we'll be there for Sunday's game to make this final push where they're going to try to push towards the end here. The Nuggets are going to catch the Lakers twice. In my opinion, I really believe this. They're going to catch them at their absolute best. Now, is that best very good? We'll find out. Maybe it's not. They've had those guys healthy before, and they've looked like absolute shit. But LeBron just took 2 weeks off, or just took a week off, I guess, a week off. He's well rested. He only has to play well for 1 week, and they happen to play the Nuggets twice. That's too tough, in my opinion, tougher games than people are giving credit for. And if you're the Nuggets and you lose tonight, all of a sudden there's also the pressure factor.
Sure.
There's a little bit more pressure there. So to me, are those gimmies? Denver, I still think, should win. They should win at least one of them. But will they? I don't know. And then you're talking about a Spurs team that is going to be same boat.
Just as desperate.
Just as desperate. Like their season will hinge on that game. And then you're talking about a Memphis team that for some reason just like has this FU attitude to you. They're up on the Suns right now playing when the Suns are trying. They have a big motivation. The Suns are 1 win away from an all-time franchise record. Memphis beating them. So Denver has, in my opinion, not a cupcake schedule despite what people think. So to me, this game means a lot in terms of, hey, you win it, put that to bed, and you get a little bit of a cushion. Actually, not a little bit of cushion. It's like a lock that you're going to make the playoffs. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. True or false? The Nuggets win this game. The odds for a Murray and or Porter return go up.
Oh, interesting. I got to think that either they're going to come back or they're not going to come back. Like I don't know that necessarily. I know that what your premise is here, that the pressure would be off, so bringing them in low pressure situation would be more likely because we're not like counting on them to win.
Say you lose tonight and you lose at the 1 o'clock game. It's a 1 o'clock game on a Sunday in Los Angeles. So they're going to fly in on Saturday night to Los Angeles and play the Lakers in a matinee. Always a weird game. Always. So let's say you lose the next 2 games. You're 1 game up on Minnesota, and it's like, hey, we thought Murray was going to come back today, but if we lose, the whole season gets shot to shit. Whereas if you win this game, and it's like, hey, there's no pressure. We can lose it, win, doesn't matter.
I think it's more a question of, like, what will the role be when they come back? Like, will they be able to give them big minutes, or will – I mean, I think if they're going to come back, they're going to come back. Like, it'll be, more I don't know. Like, we'll just be a little bit more careful with it if it doesn't – if it's something where we actually need the game. But, I mean, they're either coming back or they're not coming back.
Dev, does it change the odds at all?
I think it does. I think that the expectations when they get back, it just like releases that where they're not having to be in play hard or play, like trying to get themselves back mode, and you could just get like the feel of being out on the court and running and competing again. If they have to go into a situation where it's like not do or die, but like, hey, your season depends on this, like why would you want to put them into like those type of situations? I think it just makes it tough. They're going to have to do that anyway going into the playoffs, but just like easing them in, especially because the window and the time frame that most people like get ramped up is like now accelerated. So I think that it would just be calming for them mentally to get back in the right spot.
What do you think? If they win tonight, odds go up for Murray to return.
I think so. I think they do. You have that cushion. You can also start thinking, it's essentially locked that you avoid the play-in. You can start thinking about making sure you're in the 6 if that's what you want to do.
Right.
And maybe one of the best ways to do that is to rest a Barton and an AG and say, hey, Jamal and Porter, you play a little bit tonight.
Right.
We don't really care about the results so much. I think the odds do go up. I think they do.
I think. Well, here's the thing. Why I think they go up. Let's just read between the lines of what we know. The Nuggets have said we're not going. When he wants to come back, he can. We're not going to. If he comes back or not, we support no matter what. They've also haven't issued updates. I think you can kind of piece some of this stuff together. Maybe we're wrong, but you can kind of piece some of it together. Of like, when he's ready, he's ready. Is he ready or more ready if it's like sweet, low pressure? I think so. I just think it's easy for him to say, you know what, I went through practice on Monday or whatever it is, and I feel good. There's no pressure for me. Versus like We lose tomorrow, we miss the playoffs, and am I ready to come back? Man, I'm not screwing that up. I don't want to screw up the team.
But isn't the idea that we want them for the playoffs, which is much higher stakes than anything that we're talking about right now? Like, would they come back in the playoffs then, or they just don't come back for the full season?
I'm saying if you win and you have this cushion, then you get 3 home games to end the year. You play all 3 of those home games. They don't matter.
Saying like that, then they would just be like, well, we lost to Minnesota, so we're not coming back now.
I'm just saying it makes it a little bit harder.
I just think it just maybe alters how much they play. They're coming. If they're going to come back, they're going to come back.
All right, here's the one everybody wants to know: true or false?
Woo!
Nuggets win tonight. Nikola Jokic is your 2022 MVP.
That's a fucking true statement, my friend.
Woo, boy!
But he's got to come in. He's got to come. Like, the thing is that we're getting late rally from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. So
he did have 2 good games in a row.
He didn't have good games. He had outstanding,
really great games.
And they were against top tier competition. And Jokic
that he outplayed.
And Jokic tonight is going up against one of the top tier bigs in this league that sometimes gives him problems. Yes. And so, and now, people are now paying attention to every game to try and figure out, like, if maybe they're on the fence, like, you have late. This is why you can't, like, have political signs around a polling station, because people change their minds at the last minute. Like, maybe people are locked in, like, they see something down the line, even though Jokic is clearly outplayed him the entire season. Sometimes what matters at the very end, like, as you cast that vote, matters. So if he comes out and he plays like we know he's able to, and I expect him to, I absolutely think he locks it up.
I agree with D-Line on most of those things, but also I think the biggest thing is, like, the narrative around it all.
Oh, it's all
like
narrative.
Now NBA guys are starting to complain about like like the seeding actually mattering, and the standings and things like that, and you also are swaying, like, regular people that have these votes that can change their mind at the last second. You see this this run that Giannis is on, and then they look like they're going to go after the number 1 seed, and he comes in as the 1 seed, putting up incredible numbers. Like, Giannis's numbers are off the charts. Like, so, like, you would say, okay, he plays offense, he plays defense, he's putting up numbers, his team is winning. How do we not give a few more votes that way? And you could sway it so quickly. So I just think that you do have to have these monster games and get as many wins as possible and get closer to 6th seed or 5th seed. Mavericks are getting destroyed right now. Maybe even try to go after 3rd or something like that.
The Mavs are getting destroyed?
Yeah,
Oh, my
so
God.
Like,
yeah, you're
actually
right. Probably Washington. Dallas is going to come back and win that game. They're down 13 in the end of the 3rd. Like, Washington made their point. Now it's like, get out of here. What are we doing? They're going to go, like, into a weird zone or something. They're going to box in one, somebody in the corner.
Yeah, I think he's the heavy favorite right now. I know Giannis is coming on strong, but I think Giannis has to leapfrog him. Jokic has been talked about as a favorite and in that place and polling in that place all season long. And whether or not it's fair that we've sort of overlooked Giannis in the conversation, we have. I think for people to change their mind, Giannis has to go above and beyond. Correct me if I'm wrong, he's resting tonight, isn't he?
He is resting. Big
opportunity for Jokic. He's coming off that big game. This is Jokic's biggest game of the year. Can you be the guy to just keep your team out of that precarious-ass play-in? If he puts his foot down and puts up, 28, 14, and 8 or whatever, I think that's just going to be enough for people to go, yeah, he's done enough. He's done enough this year. And as we know, he has.
I'm going to go PolitiFact here. Mostly true. The Nuggets have a marquee game on Sunday, and I just looked this up. They play the Lakers. LeBron and Anthony Davis might be back. Dwight Howard's there. It's on ABC, not just national television, but ABC. It's a big game. I think it's a combination of tonight and that one that are going to kind of finalize the narrative. It's going to be the last people think about this for Jokic, and I think there's just that little sort of epilogue that matters less than tonight, but still matters, and that'll factor in there in large part because the lead into that game on Sunday, Dallas versus Milwaukee, Giannis resting tonight. Of course he is. He's going to be ready for that marquee matchup on Sunday where I'm sure he's going to put up like 40, 20, and 10. So to me, it's a little bit of tonight and Sunday. You kind of got to do both, but it starts with tonight. It definitely starts with it tonight. Here's my question, Dev. I'll ask this one to you. Right now, the odds on DraftKings Sportsbook are that Jokic is minus 185 to win the MVP. If they win this game and he plays well, what is that number tomorrow morning?
Minus 225.
So it's going to that's we're starting to get into near lock territory.
Yeah, I really do think that it changes because they're going to look at the rest of the season and say, okay, this is the 6th seed. He's still putting up these monster numbers. We don't see this changing people's mind that much, you know, to where even if Giannis has 2 back-to-back 50-point games, he still has to leap over Embiid.
Right.
So, like, Embiid is really the one, but everybody's mind is on Giannis the entire time.
Is it funny I can't see Embiid winning? I honest to God cannot see it. I just think he's out. I think he's eliminated.
I think you're right.
Those were high-profile meltdowns, and then he followed it up with the one nobody saw, losing to Detroit, and it's like, I'm sorry, man. You can't do it.
His should have actually went down a little bit more, but also all these things just make it more for Jokic. I feel like last night even Jokic went, like, his odds got better, and he didn't even play.
So true. It's so true.
Dude, this is so wild. It's hilarious. Like, this is the more compelling story coming down the stretch for us than the Nuggets making the playoffs.
I don't know. It's equal to me. I'm so nervous about both of them. Can I say one thing, though? This is why I think the conversation all year, like, I don't mind people having fun conversations, but the arguments, this or that, it's like, it always comes down to the last, like, week. Something will happen, and it'll swing. Like, Giannis just swung so hard, and I'm like, we sit and have these debates in January as if it's definitive, and then at the very end, it's like Giannis just outplayed Embiid, so it's Giannis. Like,
my favorite part is we check in on the standings in January.
Oh, of course.
I don't know. Well, he is the 5th seed. You go, well, who gives a shit right now?
Well, here's a funny thing, is the Nuggets tonight with a win will pass the 76ers in the standings. How funny is that? A win tonight, they'll pass him.
Oh, my God, we need this win.
This would be an ultimate vibes post-game.
The
Goodness.
The timeline is going to be littered with Smuggets type thoughts.
My life like hinges so much on the Nugget. Like, am I going to have a good weekend? I don't know. We're going to find out together. We're going to find out together. Stay tuned.
Our significant others feel the same way about us watching this game.
All right, now it's time to open up DraftKings Sportsbook. Oh, wait, we almost forgot about George Karl. I got to talk about George Karl, I guess, quickly here. I have to. Like, a huge shout. I'm so excited about this. George Karl was nominated. I was honestly not sure he was going to get in. I could tell George Karl was not sure, and I know it would have crushed him had he not gotten in. But finally, thankfully, the 6th winningest coach. It's weird that this is like Jokic's MVP. It's like, how are we sweating this? He's the 6th winningest coach ever.
Right.
Like, he got into the Hall of Fame. Here's my only note on this. Okay, obviously, like, huge for George. He's a huge part of Denver sports history and Denver Nuggets sports history. I hope that this opens up. We all know George Karl's never been honored at Ball Arena. They've never taken the time out. Today, I'm scrolling the timeline. I'm looking for an acknowledgement from the Nuggets organization in some capacity. I don't see one. I actually reached out. I reached out to the Nuggets digital department and just said, like, hey, man, is something planned? And they told me we're working on it, like that there's something in the works. So I'm going to reserve full criticism till it gets there. I hope this is the thing that provides a public mending of the fact. I don't care if, like, George Karl, Josh Kroenke don't like each other. I don't care, like, if there's a George Karl, Michael Malone don't like each other. Whatever there's, nobody cares. I want for fans to be able to get that resolution of, you know what, George Karl is an important part of who we are. It's an important part of the city, the sports history, and he's making the Hall of Fame. We need to honor him all together and come together. And I hope this is the door that we were waiting to be opened.
I think that this is, since we've started doing this show, one of the biggest themes that we have harped on over and over again is just the wayward history of the Denver Nuggets. Yeah. It just being a franchise that's been lost, found, forgotten, whatever, rebranded, moved along, and they were so bad at honoring their history. They retired numbers like 20 years late just to like do it, which step in the right direction. So yeah. This is something that you should feel prideful about as an organization, that you have the 6th winningest coach that coached for you and was very successful for you. And this is the type of thing that would signal that this current administration is serious about this as a long-standing 50-plus year old organization that is serious about not only its past, but its future. And you have to honor the past in order to go to the future. You have to.
That was good.
Thanks, bro. That was really good. All right, so good. We'll move on. We're going to go now, and I'll have more on George Karl. Obviously, we do Keep It at 1,000 podcast together. Can't wait to have him on to both preview the playoffs and also look back at this great moment. It's going to be a banger, absolute banger. So shouts to my guy, George. Woo! All right, let's open up DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and let's place some bets here, Dev. I know you have some bets you're loving tonight.
Let's get to it.
Shall we?
Get to it.
Man, let's do this.
People don't talk about it. I am on a banger streak.
People don't talk about it.
We actually try to like
once a show.
We actually try to sweep it under the rug a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it threatens us.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? We're gonna get right. Nuggets coming to the game as 3-point favorites, which is a little bit wild, just because
it's in Minnesota.
Minnesota seems to
Denver.
have their number,
Oh,
or
sorry.
so we thought. I don't think so. I really don't think so, and I think that this is
Where is D-line right now?
I think this is a statement game for the Nuggets. I really do, and I think that
I hope you're
it
right,
needs
Dad.
to be a statement game.
with statement games, we already know who their best player is, and I feel like
Who is
he's going
that?
to have a monster game.
Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers, for sure. Nikola Jokic.
Let's go.
He has everything. They put his points, rebounds, and assists at 50.5. That just
that's a
shows
lot.
you the type of mentality, the type of monster, the type of killer that they really do feel that he is. Am I going to touch that? No, I'm not going to touch that.
What?
But I think he's going to have a monster scoring game. 28.5. I love it. I like it a lot. So I'm going to go over. Also, to look at
Points,
it, this is
wow, I'm
a
taking
game
it.
that's 242. Like the over-under is 242. This is going to be a fast-paced, high-scoring game. Like
Yup.
it just really
Really?
is. So you're going to have to give the ball to your best player. He's going to score. He also, we know how Cat plays against him. Cat's
He
going to
goes
be
at
like,
him, man.
I had a conversation earlier. It does not matter how bad or anything is going on in Cat's world. He plays Jokic every single time. So I really do. I think he's going to have a good game. I just do. My lock.
If you said cat, I'm leaving this set.
Well, you need to sit down. You need to sit down. My lock is Aaron Gordon.
Wow.
Aaron Gordon, points, rebounds, and assists.
Wow.
He's back.
You make me do this, and
he's
it always
actually
makes
back.
me so uncomfortable.
Really,
but
they
I'm
put his
going-
numbers too low. It's
They did put it too
23 and a
low.
half points,
All right.
rebounds, and assists. He's scoring the basketball now. He's going to have to play on the boards. He is coming off of a game where he really was not interested at all. So now he took a game off. He's now rejuvenated. He's going to be back. I really do think they're going to go to him early and often as that scapegoat. And also, we know Jokic also he's going to have one-on-one coverage. So once they finally decide to double team because he's getting cooked, they're going to have to go to Gordon. I think he's going to get it. Points, rebounds, and assists. I like it.
All right. You make a compelling case, Dev. One that I'm not going to follow suit.
Let's do our same game parlay. What is it? What is
Can
that?
I ask you though? I'm going to throw something out here. I kind of like Jokic 1.5 threes tonight.
I was just going to say, lock that in.
I'm going to lock it in. It's
Lock
my
it
own.
in.
Do you
Jokic,
like that?
1.5
You think he's going to get 30-plus points without threes? Here's if we go through this year, he took 4 threes in the first matchup, 4 threes in the second, 8 threes in the third matchup.
Yes.
He takes them in this game. Is he going to be on tonight? I think he is. It's a
He's
locked-in
going to be
game.
locked in. Like,
A locked-in
really.
game.
He's
You look at
gonna
his
score.
percentages over the last 4. He's missed like 6 total shots. I think he's going to be making threes tonight. Knock on wood. So that's another one of my favorites. And then same game parlay.
Yep.
Did we build the same one? I can't remember.
So just there is a special. There's a special
Yeah.
same game parlay if anybody wants to take it.
They always push those.
It is a little bit of a sucker.
high.
A little bit of a sucker bet, maybe. I don't know. Barton 2 threes, Nuggets money line, and Jokic to score 30.
I mean, like, that's just tough, man.
It's tough. I'll tell you the same game parlay that I constructed with my new strategy as far as same game parlays
I like it.
are concerned. How many legs do you need to
Only
succeed?
2 legs.
You need 2 legs
Yeah.
to succeed. So I have taken the one thing you can count on, as we've pointed out, whenever or ever there is a game that the Nuggets need, you can count on Nikola Jokic to rebound the
agree.
basketball.
Yep.
That is what he does every
agree.
playoff game, every high-pressure situation. So I'm taking 13-plus rebounds by Nikola Jokic, and I'm going to bet Bones Highland points because vibes.
You just love him.
Just because of vibes. That's
Because
it.
you vibe him. I have the same one. I lowered the rebounds down to 11.5. I don't know why. I feel like he'll rebound a lot tonight. And that does it. Boy, oh boy! Woo! I'm telling you, energy
Buckle up,
on
boys and
100.
girls.
This is like, you know what this is? This is a preview of the playoffs, what it feels like in the playoffs, where you're just like, you're crawling out of your skin. That's how I feel right now. Let's go watch the Nugs. We're going to be right back here in the postgame. Hit that like on the way out for
Let's
good
go.
luck. We'll see you there.